Hello,
Hi.
and welcome to Past and Picture podcast with me, Amanda.
And me, Tony.
Great. Now that we have our introductions out of the way, so we'll just do a quick little who we are and what our podcast is going to be about. So, I'm Amanda. I have a degree in film studies and creative writing, and I'm currently doing an open masters with the Open University. Shout out to the Open University. And yeah, so I do classical studies, creative writing, and then philosophy. So I do a little bit of 3 different kind of subjects in one, I guess. And I have a real love for film. So the layout of the podcast will be 1 week we will do like a film thing, and then the next week Tony will do a history thing. And then we'll sort of just talk around the subject. We might delve into some other things as well. I mean, we're open to everything because
there's some films that could be both film and history topics.
Yes, like I love 1914.
Yeah.
What, is it 1917?
1917.
Yes. I love. That's how much I love it. I remember the name.
Yeah.
Yes,
well, I know the true facts behind the.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she will enlighten me with her historic knowledge.
Yeah. So I've got a history degree.
Nice.
Undergrad, and then I'm gonna do a master's in. It's a master's of philosophy, but it's kind of like history and museum studies as well. That's next year. Well, this upcoming year. We work together. We get a bit bored sometimes and just start talking about.
Yeah, and then one day I was like, oh, we should start a podcast and just
we were like,
we can just talk to each other about, because we don't have time always in work to talk about like things that are going on or like things that we enjoy, and we want to delve a little bit deeper into those things. So
I need a bit of mental stimulation. my brain cells are slowly rotting away because I'm not in education anymore.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, we'll try and be funny. And cool and entertaining and informative.
It's educational podcast,
but we're not experts, so if we
No.
get something wrong you can correct us. Just don't be mean, because I'm like,
recording will go off and we'll just cry together and oh my god, I cannot believe that John said this about our podcast we've worked so hard on.
But if you have different opinions, let us know, because as much as the only things I know about film is my Letterboxd reviews. That's as much as I can offer. So when Amanda talks about a film, I have watched the film, but
so this podcast, for film wise, it will be full spoiler. Like in the caption, I will say what film it is. I highly recommend that you then watch the film and then come to the podcast to hear what we have to say about it, because it's going to be full spoilers. If you don't really care about spoilers, then just listen to us anyway. I'm sure you will laugh at something.
Yeah, well, we're starting off with a Disney film, so if you're not into Disney, you don't need to watch it. But like, I feel like if it's more of like a serious film, maybe you probably should watch it. But okay, so this is us further on in the episode, and we're gonna come back and insert this at the start when we said about spoilers. We've had a bit of a chat about Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, so if you haven't seen them either,
I mean, the Lord of the Rings is like 3 hours and there's 3 films.
There's 9 hours altogether.
Plus the Hobbit films, which are also 3 films and like 3 hours long.
Yeah, so sorry, but that was just a.
I mean, it's been out since like the 70s.
The 70s. The book, no.
Yeah. The
films came out when I was born.
Yeah, but the story of has been out since you've
that.
had so much time.
Yeah. Okay.
To watch this.
Okay. Anyway. Okay. We're gonna go.
Going back. We're going to jump into Disney and Pixar's Elemental. So this is the film that like first started off our idea of a podcast, because I came into work and I was like, you need to watch this film,
and I was like,
it's
no,
so
I'm not interested.
Good. She just wasn't interested, and I was like, you really need to watch it. There is so much to say about this particular. It's like one of the best things I think they've done in a little while.
Well, my favourite Disney film is Tarzan, so Tarzan still remains on top.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
But this one's pretty good.
But it's really good.
It made me cry.
Think it's really good. It made me cry like twice.
Yeah, and I don't really cry that. I used to cry a lot, but now I don't cry that often. So
talking about
it
crying,
did it. Yeah,
my cry diary this year.
Yeah, this was in it.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alongside some more serious topics.
Yes.
So yeah, it was a nice cry. It was a nice cry.
Yeah, we did. Today, I have decided to teach Tony a little bit about what is known as the hero's journey, and it's basically story structure in film and creative writing and books and all that kind of good stuff. So I have a great interest in stories in general.
When you say this, it gives me the Odyssey.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The hero's journey.
Yes. Well, I mean, the hero's journey itself can be applied to everything.
Yeah.
Like basically every film and every book.
And my day-to-day life, maybe. Going into work.
Yeah, I mean, if you face some sort of trial on your everyday,
I think I do. Many times
you need
a day.
to conquer the underworld.
Yes.
As well as the overworld. Yes. To make the hero's journey. So, let's have a little look at Elemental. So, Elemental, it's produced by Disney and Pixar. The director is Peter Son, and the writers are Peter Son, John Hobury, Kat Lickle, and I can't say Brenda's surname, Sue, is that Hsueh?
Yes.
So, Son has also directed Partly Cloudy and The Good Dinosaur. As to the worldwide gross, as of December 23, is just under 500 million.
Is that a lot for a film?
For a film that I think they spent 200 million making.
That's a lot of money.
So in film, usually you need to double what you've spent making to make a profit.
What's average
for making a film?
For like a Disney?
Millions, I guess. Yeah.
Do they go to billions?
No, not to maybe the Marvel films. Even because sometimes some of them make like a couple mil per film.
So this one's been quite successful, is that what?
Yeah, well, yes.
And I've never really heard of it.
It's what they call a sleeper hit.
Oh.
This is
the film degree.
Well, I was looking into it last night and stuff. So it's called a sleeper hit, where like the promotional material for the film didn't fully portray how fantastic the film actually is. Yes. A lot of people saw it and were just sort of like, we've seen Zootopia before. We don't need another one.
I haven't seen Zootopia.
It's really good. But, it's about stereotypes.
He's not going to like me saying this, but my boyfriend has a crush on the rabbit.
What's wrong with what's her name? Bunny? Judy Hopps.
He also has a crush on Sally from Cars. I don't agree.
In Elemental that I've picked up on, there's quite a lot, and I feel like in this film there's something for everybody. I was looking on Reddit to see what other people were saying about the film and getting a feel and stuff. Some people were like, nah, it's nah. Yeah. They guess they can't really relate, but I feel like those particular people are in a bit of a bubble, or either don't know / accept possibly how other people feel, like empathy and stuff.
Yeah. More of a real world example, but it's like when people are like, oh, white privilege is their thing because they don't experience the lack of privilege.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I feel like it could be possibly for these people as well.
Yeah, because I watched it with my boyfriend and it hit me more than it hit him. He enjoyed it, but I think I was kind of drawn towards the relationship between the daughter and the father in the film.
Yes.
And he wasn't, so that's where I latched onto it. But there's loads of different places where people could fit themselves in, I think.
Yeah. So the themes in the film: racism, family, religion / culture, discrimination, stereotypes, immigration, different languages. The American dream is interesting.
Oh yeah.
Emotions: mother and son, father and daughter, inheritance, community, disability, possibly anxiety, and then forbidden love.
And crying.
Yes, emotional. Yeah, crying. Emotion. Yeah, there was a lot of crying.
Could relate.
Yeah, love Wade. So in the film, the main characters are Ember and Wade. But within the film, I feel like the family dynamics are quite simplified. But again, I think we need to think about this film is a kids' film.
Yeah.
They have made such a fantastic world build with this world.
Yeah.
There is so much going on that it is very hard to squish into like an hour and a half.
Yeah, it's one of those films that if a kid watches it, they can take it at face value and enjoy it as an entertaining film.
Yes.
And if somebody with a bit more of a critical perspective watches it, it has a deeper meaning. It does both of those things simultaneously.
Yeah, as an adult, especially if you come from a family that has moved or immigrated into another country, you can definitely watch this and be like, wow, I can really relate to either whatever this character, whatever the mum, the dad, the daughter, the kids, whatever. So let's go on with, I literally wrote down everything that happens in the film. So as I was saying before, the hero's journey, there's 12 steps.
12?
There's 12 steps.
Is it like a mountain?
Of a story. It's a circle.
Oh. Okay.
So I haven't got any pictures. I should have brought pictures for you.
I'll imagine.
I'll just have to describe everything.
We can all just imagine together.
So the hero's journey. There's 12 steps of the hero's journey in 3 acts.
Okay.
So just like
a play.
Yes, exactly. Like it's all the same. It's all the same. So there's 3 acts, obviously, the beginning, the middle, and the end. And then each act has different steps. So within Act 1, we have the ordinary world. So it's the equilibrium of the story. Everything is fine and dandy. Think of like Lord of the Rings or like the Shire, the Hobbit. I always think of the Hobbit is so good, especially this beginning part. So there's an ordinary world. He's fine and dandy.
Everything's cool.
Then there's a call to adventure.
Gandalf, knock knock.
No. Prior to this, then you get a refusal, and then you seek the mentor.
No, it is.
Which is when he meets Gandalf.
So it's the call to adventure, Bilbo leaving, maybe.
Yeah. So the call to adventure can be something small. Doesn't have to be
Gandalf knocking at your door.
Yeah, it can be something small. So there's the ordinary world. There's a call to the adventure. Then there's a refusal. They don't want to go, whatever, for whatever reason. This always happens. And then they meet the mentor, who is like, it's going to be fine. I'll go with you. I will guide you. I will give you this magic, blah, 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 blah. Yes.
This episode's going to have to be an Elementals of Lord of the Rings now.
Okay. Well, you can use it for any story.
Yeah.
So anyway, they meet the mentor. They go off on the journey. So Act 2 starts, the first threshold. This is when the main character leaves their comfort zone. Yeah. So he leaves the Shire. He goes on his walk to go blah, blah, blah.
Tony walks into the workplace.
Yes, yeah. Tony goes to the workplace. And then in the Act 2, after this, she meets allies and enemies and tests. And she has like general tests. Like, you have to do all your workload.
Yeah.
you have
to meet the quota.
Yes, for the day. And then you go to the innermost cave, which means that you're closer to your goal. It doesn't mean that you're at your goal yet, but you're getting there. So when we think about Bilbo, he is, when he gets to, I think when he's in, the dragon's lair, he's not got, what was it that he was trying to find or trying to get?
I don't remember.
He was trying to get something.
We should know this.
And I know. And the dragon was guarding it. Yeah. Because he was the thief, wasn't he?
Well, it's like, if we look at, instead of the Hobbit, Lord of the Rings, Frodo, he has the ring, but he can see Mordor, but he's not there yet. Yeah. Like that.
Well, sort of. That's sort of like when he's leaving his comfort zone, but like the innermost cave is like, he's so close to the goal, because then the next one is an ordeal, which is the biggest.
Getting his finger bitten off.
The biggest test yet. Does he?
Yeah. What? At the end, he's at Mount Doom. He's ready to drop the ring, and then he's like, "Oh no, I want to keep it because it's like clouding his judgment." And then Gollum comes in, and he's like, "Rawr," and then he bites his finger off, and with the ring, and then they fall in. Okay. Spoilers for the very end of the 9 hours.
Like we have said, this is a spoiler.
Spoilers.
You should really watch it. They're great. Anyway, so after he does that, and he has his biggest test yet, his ordeal, then he gets his reward. Yeah. And then start of Act 3.
Oh.
The road back.
Oh.
Then he has to get back.
Interesting.
To the Shire, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And then there's a resurrection, which is the final hurdle of
which in the books is the burning of the Shire.
Yeah.
But that doesn't happen in the films.
I have read the book. It was a very long time.
So like in the film he comes back and the Shire's perfect, exactly as it was. But then in the book the Shire's like burnt to the ground.
So and then after the resurrection of the final hurdle, they return with the item triumphant.
Okay.
This is, I think, another great story is Coraline.
Oh yeah.
Coraline fits this.
We should do an episode on that.
I love Coraline.
It's very good.
Like one of my.
I watched it for the first time last year.
What?
Yeah.
I saw it when it came out in cinemas. It was my first ever 3D film.
That's a good one.
And you know the very beginning, and it like she like pokes the eye.
Yeah.
And in the first thing I'd ever seen in 3D, I think I was like 9 at the time, and I was like,
Mine's
whoa!
blown.
Yeah, it was amazing. Okay, so let's go back to Elemental. Let's just go through some of the themes and some of the stuff that happens. So we'll do a quick rundown of the story just to jog our memory. The very start of the film, Ember's mum and dad come into the new world, they immigrate in, and it's all like the first elements on the wall, the second elements, the third elements, but fire's never there because they either didn't know fire existed, the fire element existed, or they had no intention of the fire people being included.
It's giving caste system.
Yeah. So they have literally nothing. They come in, they can't find a home. So the place that they do find is literally in disrepair.
Yeah.
And they basically have to build this up. So the family start in an abandoned house, which becomes a fixer-upper. I've also noted here that I feel like the shop puts the family in a position where they'll be pushed over by customers, and this is the same way that they have been in Element City.
It's like the shop is a microcosm of the world in its entirety.
Yeah, because you see like how the customers break things and like they have no disregard. Like the guy who like only wants the free sparkler.
Yeah.
Like
they're
you obviously know. He
yeah.
obviously knows that's not how this works.
Yeah.
I would be upset if a customer was like, oh, well, to be fair, I wouldn't be a manager in a store for one. I would, if someone was like, well, I only want the free one, and then started kicking off, I'd be like, okay, take it. I don't want to deal with whatever energy you've got coming into this shop right now. I'd rather you just took your thing and
not
left.
Paid enough to deal with that.
Yes,
but
no.
They have to.
Yeah.
That's their livelihood and the only thing they've got. So all these obstacles they kind of have to face. So
yeah. So the family wants Ember to marry Fire, and she makes her promise. So there's a very short snippet of Ember's grandmother, I think. And she's like, promise me, Ember, you'll marry Fire. And then she dies. Oh. And it's a bit like, she couldn't even say no. She couldn't. Because she just like, she got cut off from it. Yeah. So I think that's interesting as well. She's like, she is being, like, her life is literally set on a course. And she has no say whatsoever.
Yeah. That's
she's basically a prisoner.
Message of the film.
She's a prisoner in her own family. So, I'm thinking that the first task in Elementals was her doing the deliveries for her dad.
Yeah.
So in like every story, there's usually 3 tasks that the hero has to do. I think the first task is very easy. It's doing the delivery for her dad.
Yeah.
That's all like, you can't beat my delivery record. And she's like, haha, old man, I can.
And she slays it.
And she does. She gets back. Well, he's asleep when she gets back.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like, she doesn't really care that she's done it faster than him. She just wants to make sure that her dad is comfortable, goes to bed, and he's happy.
Because he's getting old and frail at this point.
You know, she sees the sacrifices that he's done for the family, but ultimately it's not her dream. Yeah. It's her dad's dream.
Yeah. So her dad at the start of the film is kind of setting her up to become the owner of the shop.
Yeah.
That's like the drive. And
but
she
it's
doesn't
not
really
for
want
her.
that. Yeah, she doesn't want that.
It's not her dream.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we meet Wade, and Wade is very emotional.
He's a himbo.
Himbo?
Do you not know what himbo is?
I think so.
It's like the hot, sporty guy, but he's so stupid. He's a himbo. Yeah.
Would you say he was sporty?
He's not sporty, but he's like, oh yeah. I'm doing actions that nobody else can see.
Only for my burning eyes.
He gives me himbo vibes.
Okay. I love Wade. He's so funny. And he makes funny jokes.
I didn't like him at the start.
As well. Did you not? No, not even when he was squished out of shape. And he was like,
ooh. That himbo.
Yes, I guess, at the beginning. Yeah. But then he was like, shook it off.
And then he loses his himbo exterior and he's just like, literally a puddle.
Yeah.
Literally. So...
And then he writes her 30 citations. So, Amber starts her journey going on the train. So, remember how we said that they go out of their comfort zone?
Yeah.
This was the first part of Act 2. She gets out of her comfort zone. She leaves on the train. But, so something interesting...
We haven't explained why she leaves.
Oh, because he writes the citations and he runs off.
Yeah.
So she has to chase them.
There's a flood in their fire shop, which is obviously very bad for fire.
Because you can already see in the world that like when they are touched by water, like part of their flame like you know disappears and they basically have to restore.
You haven't watched Parasite, have you?
No.
Right.
I need to watch it.
It gives me very much Parasite parallels in the sense that when there's a flood in Parasite and all the water runs downhill and all the people worst off live at the bottom of the hill, so they're the ones disproportionately affected by the problems, and that's what's happened to her, really.
Yeah, because I mean, as they say in the film as well, like the city isn't built for fire people.
Yeah,
stupid. Anyway, so something else that I wanted to tell you about story films as well.
Yep.
Interestingly enough, was that a lot of the time when they need characters to come together, they like force them together by whatever means. So in this particular instance, they force these two together by showing Ember's want to make her family happy, and she will literally do anything. She even states in the beginning of the film that she's never been on the train, she's never left Fire City, she's got no idea what's going on in the rest of the world. She is confined to Fire City, whatever it's called. So anyway, so she leaves on the train, she leaves her comfort zone. Even when Ember is upset with Wade, she still calls him a water person and not just water. Her dad always refers to him as water.
Yeah, so she's different in that sense.
He's just grouping him together, like all water people are the same.
But he doesn't even say water people, he just says all water.
Water. Just water in general.
But she sees him as a person.
She's like, he's a water person. Even she knows. She knows even he's his own person.
Yeah.
Okay, so then Ember goes to the air stadium, which I've put down as like some sort of unity. I think it was when I was watching this with Steve, he was saying that like sport can bring people together.
Yeah.
So like everyone being in that stadium together is a part of unity because they are all supporting the same team.
Yeah. It was giving me Quidditch.
Yeah. So also interestingly, when Ember walks past the people, she boils them. When she walks past the water people in the stadium, she like boils them as she goes along. I don't know if this could link to racism, like as in your blood boils when you see someone.
She didn't even actually harm them. She just like, you could take that as like a perceived problem rather than a real problem as well. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we know that when she gets near Wade, she boils him anyway.
Yeah.
But in this sense, I thought there could be a little.
I think it's just showing like in this world they are like physically incompatible.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
So then they have the second task, which is the leak, trying to find the leak in the film. Also the Vivisteria. I still have no clue what this flower is about.
Yeah.
I did have a little look online to see what the people were saying about it, and there was one theory that I quite liked, but we'll get to it at the end. Okay. So Wade is really, really empathetic, and also the clothing that they wear represents their elements. So Ember and like the fire people, they always wear chainmail.
Oh.
Yeah.
I did not notice this.
Wade, his shirt is like fish scales.
Oh, that's cute. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't.
And then I can't remember what the like cloud people.
Well, they're just clouds.
Were wearing. Yeah, I can't remember.
Yeah.
And then
it's very well thought out character design.
And then the earth people, they like have shrubbery.
They're so cute.
Just as like clothes.
They're so cute.
I love them. I think
I'd
so
be a
cute.
tree person.
Would you? I'd be a water person, I think.
Okay.
I'd be so emotional.
I'd tree.
I'm already so emotional.
Because I'm a tree. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can learn from different cultures, and this is what Ember learns as she goes through the story. And when Wade brings Ember to like his family house, like they all want to know about her and her culture and stuff, and they make some inappropriate.
Yeah,
ignorant. Yes, ignorant's the word I'm thinking of. They make some sort of like ignorant.
They mean well.
They
the
want
way
well.
In which they're saying stuff is insensitive.
Yeah, I think it's a tough topic to talk about, especially like when it's someone or a culture that you don't know. It's hard to like ask.
Yeah.
Those kinds of questions without sounding like ignorant.
Yeah.
When Ember and Wade eventually start to like come around to each other, and then they're enjoying each other's company and they're becoming friends. At the very start of the film, we see Ember with like an umbrella underneath, you know, where the waterfalls.
Yeah.
And she hates the water, hates it.
Yeah.
But after she's met Wade, they've gotten closer. She leaves the train to come back home, and she sees the water come down in front of her, and she's like sort of, she doesn't hate it anymore. Yeah. She like loves it. She loves the reflection. She thinks it's so pretty.
Yeah.
She really likes it. So that can be that she's come to appreciate the beauty in other people, in other cultures.
That fear was instilled in her by her family and her community.
Yeah.
And now that she's stepped outside that community, she's kind of let go of that fear that was put into her.
Yeah. I like that Bernie mixes up different sayings.
Is this the dad?
Yes, Bernie the dad. So he says, lying through your I can't remember. I didn't write it down, but it's meant to be lying through your teeth.
Yeah.
But he says lying through your something else.
Yeah.
I think it's just a funny little play on how when people come to other countries, they don't quite understand like little words. So I think a really funny one is when Jackie Chan was filming for like Rush Hour or something. Instead of saying freeze, he would go cheese. Oh. And everyone would laugh because they're like, it's not cheese, it's freeze. And he was like, oh, right,
it's
okay,
like how
freeze.
Things translate the jokes, they really cross over.
Yeah. And also that he says panned instead of banned.
Oh, he's cute.
I don't know if this could be that, like, he doesn't ban many people. He hasn't quite, like, he hasn't gotten to say the word enough to understand that it's banned and not panned. Yeah. But we do see a picture of loads of people banned. Yeah. But he might, at the time, he might not have said you're banned. He might have just said, like, you're not welcome here, or what. He might have said it a different way. Yeah. So, and Bernie only wants his own original, authentic way of living. He doesn't want anything else, which I think is interesting.
Traditional guy.
Considering that he made the decision to move to a different country, basically a different world.
And that was a hard decision for him to make. He goes through this and how, like, his dad kind of lost all respect for him when he moved. That was like a big deal. It's very sad. That bit made me very sad.
Yeah, I think so. I think it was a really, really, it's a tough decision to make.
Yeah.
Because I don't know why people, like, I know why they move countries, but I think to move country and then not want to be surrounded in that culture is like,
it's people are complicated, aren't they?
Yeah. So Ember, when she feels really small and upset, she physically becomes small. Yeah, I think that's great. Also, so Wade lives in a nice fancy water apartment. His family aren't sure how to behave around Ember, and his family make fun of him as well. Like, they make jokes at his expense. So his family aren't sure how to behave around Ember. Like we said before, it's just like ignorant comments that they make. His family give her the first, like, glimpse into life that isn't her dad's shop. Yeah. They're the first people who go, like, the world is so big and our city is made of glass and you are fantastic at making glass. Like, you should really consider this could be something good for you, because you can tell that she likes it. She makes that Vivisteria circle thing as well. So we know that she enjoys it. And we know that she likes it, and she's very angry and upset at herself because she doesn't want what her dad wants together.
She feels selfish for wanting to pursue her own goals when her dad has provided and literally, like, worn himself to the bone, given her this shop, but she doesn't want the shop. So she doesn't want to throw all that back in his face.
Yeah, exactly. And then, on the same night, she's basically given a job opportunity. But she's really mad that other options are available to her. Yeah. Like we've just said. So also opposites attract in this film. Shows a lot of different sides.
Yeah, fire and water, literally. Like,
yes. Yeah, yin and yang. Yeah. I like to think of them as. Yeah. Because they work with each other. Yeah. They make amazing things happen, like when he makes the waterfall and the jumping on all of the different coloured minerals, the stones and stuff. So it might be scary, but you can sometimes find something beautiful at the end of whatever it is that you're doing, whatever journey the hero is going on. Also, Ember has been told she's too dangerous for the Vivisteria flower, but she is the only thing that makes it bloom. Wade professes his love and Ember says no, and then the tempered glass is broken.
Yeah, so throughout the story they're, like, falling in love. You can see it, she's kind of resisting, not playing hard to get, but she's, like, not letting herself feel anything towards him because she doesn't want to disappoint her family.
Yes, yeah.
But underneath you can tell that she likes him. No?
She does, yeah. I think it's really sad that her family just isn't supportive of what she wants to do.
And then throughout this whole thing, they're both working together to save her town. And I don't think the people in the town don't want to be saved by this water guy.
Yeah, they don't.
Yeah.
Because it's water, that's essentially.
Yeah, but he's helping to save their livelihoods.
Yeah, it was his job in the first place to find the leak. Yeah. He's the original fixer.
But they needed to work together to solve the problem.
Yes.
she was necessary to solve the problem.
Yes, they had to work together. And then the third and final task, is to save Firetown. Actually, save Firetown. And when the water comes in, she is the one who drives through the city and shouts, "There's a flood! Flash flood! Everyone, go inside, get up high, move out of the way." And then she gets to her mum and dad's shop and she tells them, "There's a flood." You know, I think by that time it's already flooding and they're like jumping on top of stuff that's floating. And the dad's like, "The flame." So the flame, the blue flame, is really interesting. It's like a piece of their original culture that they've taken with them.
And they keep it in their shop.
Yeah. It doesn't mean anything. That fire could go out and their lives would still continue to live. But it's just, like a sentiment.
It's a symbol. It's like an heirloom, family heirloom.
Basically, yeah. Yeah, I'm surprised that he took it with him, even though his dad was very much against him leaving.
I guess it reminds them where he comes from and all the stuff, all the hardships he's faced to get here.
Yeah,
it's like,
definitely. They go into the shop, they save the fire flame, Ember makes the glass wall, but it's actually Wade who ends up saving a little piece of that blue flame, and then they get trapped in that small room. Yeah. And it's very sad. It's so sad when he starts to steam. Yeah. And basically steams
she kind of destroys him.
Yeah.
Because they're
too hot to handle. She's too hot to handle.
Yeah, he can't handle her.
Yeah. She's too fiery.
Yeah.
She's so emotional. I think she's just as emotional as Wade. But
her emotions more destructive.
She's like, yeah, I'm angry, rah.
And he's more
like, when people get angry, I'm one of these people. I just cry.
I get upset.
It just like the tears just come out of nowhere.
I was saying in work the other day.
Why?
I was talking to one of our colleagues in work. I was saying like, I don't know why men get so angry and punch things.
Yes,
because my anger doesn't manifest as that. It manifests as upset. So
years and years ago, I was watching like some sort of art show. And it was like, we want you to draw a painting of like masculinity for men and femininity for women. Yeah. And the man literally punched holes in his canvas and just was like, "This is manliness." Yeah. And he won. And I was like, "Oh God, are you joking?" Like, he's just put some holes in some canvas.
But it is interesting that the man in the film is the one that's got the most
emotional,
feminine, stereotypically feminine traits, and she's got the more stereotypically masculine traits.
Yeah. I know. I like this. This is why I like the film so much. There's so much to say about everything.
Yeah, it's very well thought out.
Very interesting. Yeah. It's a very well thought out film. And then at the very end, Ember and Wade kiss in front of like her whole family. Aww. And they can see nothing happens. Yeah, they'd already touched once before, and they know nothing happens. Yeah,
they've been told if you touch each other, you both die. World's gonna end.
Yes,
and then they do, and nothing happens.
Yeah, so nothing happens. And then Ember and Bernie do the bow together at the very end. And this is before that she leaves to go on her own way.
So in the end, she kind of tells her dad. Her dad understands.
Her dad. So the film itself is very interesting. When I was reading this online, a lot of people were like, it takes years and years and years to get through to parents like this. Yeah. They are very stubborn in their own ways. They don't want to know what's out there, what is next. They're very happy to be in their little bubble. And like, he accepted her.
It was very lovely. It made me cry.
5 minutes.
Yeah.
Literally. Yeah.
But you've only got an hour and a half film. So.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking.
But I think that in most situations,
it's a very simplified family dynamic.
The child who's trying to get the parents' approval doesn't go from and save their entire town. So I think that had an impact on what happened.
Yeah. Well, every task that they do in the hero's journey is bigger than the last. Yeah. And the last one is like the penultimate. Yeah. As I was looking around, some interesting things that I picked up on. Yeah. Interesting points. The first one is from Reddit. I didn't write down the person's name. I literally forgot. And
plagiarism.
I couldn't. But I'm gonna say what they said.
Plagiarism.
So it was about the Vivisteria.
Cancel her.
Tony.
I'm sorry.
The Vivisteria represents long forgotten truth. All elements can and should mix. This is why This is why this plant exists, and it can withstand all of the elements, and it exists in the first place. It's a combination
of all the elements together.
Yes. Because its roots are in the ground. It's covered in water.
Fire makes it bloom, and it needs the air.
Yes. I thought that was great because the Vivisteria is one thing that I just couldn't quite get why was it so important. I understand. Sometimes it made me think that like the tree was important because it was something that Ember really wanted to see, but she couldn't because they were like, fire can't go, you're too dangerous, go back to Firetown. I remember the first time when I heard that line and I was like, whoa, that's so on the nose of, I would genuinely be shocked if I heard anybody say that, go back to Fireland, go back to your own country. I'd literally be like, oh, that is so wrong.
It's a very obvious comparison to the way in which people interact with each other now, and in the past as well.
This next one is from Slash Film. So Slash Film had the director and one of the writers on for, you know, like a conversational piece on their website, which was quite interesting. And this was really interesting what the director had said to them. So during a presentation, the director, Peter Son, told the story of how his parents immigrated from Korea to the US in the 60s and 70s, and Son's father opened a grocery store.
Yeah.
So this is very personal to the director himself.
Yeah.
And the writers as well, who I also believe are people who immigrated into, I think they are
autobiographical.
Yes, I feel like everyone who worked on the film has put their own personal input into it, which is why I think this makes this film so fantastically relatable.
That human touch.
It's got everything in it.
It's got the heartfelt intentions in it, and I think that's what makes it such a emotional
there's so much love was put into this film and so much emotion, which is why I think it resonated with so many people in different cultures and different places around the world. I mean, I'm just a typically normal white cis woman. And even though I don't really relate to anything in the film, I was still like, it's amazing. Like, I feel like
and like neither of us have come from families that immigrated, but like I'm from a mixed race family, and I can, you know, there's bits of it that I can relate to, and you know, it's really nice.
I know. So, when Tony saw it, she sent me a picture, and she was crying because your dad is your best friend.
My dad is my best friend. Shout out to Graham. And I was crying because I was like, I just want to make my dad proud of me as well, and all that. So
oh, it was so cute. And then the last piece, I did write this person's name down, Armadillo on Reddit. This is what they've said, a quote, which I thought was quite funny. This is the movie that Zootopia wishes it could be, and it was so suspiciously better than the marketing led me to believe that I wonder if Disney is trying to sabotage Pixar.
Oh, conspiracy.
I just thought that was really funny.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they are, considering they all work together.
Yeah.
I just think that
the film... I think the promotion wasn't good because the actor strike was on, wasn't it? So
was it at the time?
Yeah. When it was getting promoted, the actor strike was on.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Because a lot of films came out that didn't have very much promotion this year. So.
Yeah. But anyway, that concludes.
That's it.
What I think of Elemental, and we've had a good little chat around it.
If you haven't watched it and you've listened to all this, I think that you should watch it, because we didn't tell you every detail of the plot.
There's so much more
There's so much more, and you should watch it. If you have watched it, tell us what you think.
Yes. So we have X now.
It's Twitter.
Is it still
I refuse
Twitter?
to call it X.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And we have Instagram. We have TikTok. If you want to talk to us, please talk to us.
We are expecting maybe 5 views max.
And they're all my friends. So thank you guys.
and my boyfriend's sister.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jill. Hey Jill.
So if anyone else wants to let us know what they think, please do. If you want us to discuss anything in particular, please do.
Anything
if
interesting.
you are our friend and you want to come on and talk to us about stuff,
yes. If you have,
do that.
What's it called? Like a special interest.
Yes.
If you've got a special interest and you're burning, this was why this podcast was made, because I was burning to talk about Elemental.
It's like I go to work and I'm like, Amanda, this historical fact you need to know, and that's what happened. So
5 historical facts.
Yeah. Fun Fact Friday.
Yes.
So like every week we're basically presenting our own little special interest.
Yes. Definitely.
Because we just want to talk about it.
Things that will come around every week and I'll be like, oh, this is interesting.
Yeah.
Did you know about this?
We'll be like, let's share it with the world. So
all the 5 people that are
all the 5 people that are going to watch that, I know them all personally. Yeah. So
yes. So TikTok is Past and Picture Pod.
Yeah.
Instagram is
Past and Picture Podcast.
And
Twitter / X is Past and Picture.
Okay, not confusing, but I'm sure if you just type in Past and Picture, it'll probably just come up anyway.
So thank you guys.
Thank you for listening. If you got this far through our rambling,
love you all, besties.
Yes.
See you next week.
We'll see you next week
with my episode. Ooh. It's gonna be a bit sad. I'm sorry.
It's gonna be.
It's poking fun at me being sad.
No.
It is.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.